Think you've got the airport routine down? Well, think again. Stop whatever you're doing and listen carefully. I've talked to multiple aviation experts, dug through policy documents, and researched every hidden update before making this video. Because what's coming next isn't just an update. It's a silent overhaul of air travel that most passengers won't notice until they're the ones being pulled aside, charged extra, or flat out denied boarding. And if you fly even once in the next 18 months, missing these changes could cost you time, money, and possibly your entire trip. So stay with me till the very end, because one of the final points I reveal is already catching travelers this month, and almost nobody realizes it's happening. Welcome back to the channel. Let's jump straight into the 11 biggest airport and airline changes you need to know before you fly in 2026. Number 11. The silent airport era is officially here. The silent airport era is officially here, and it's catching thousands of travelers off guard. More airports are removing loudspeaker announcements entirely. No more final boarding call, no reminders, and no helpful updates echoing through the terminal. It might feel peaceful at first, but the risk is huge. If you're not constantly checking the screens or refreshing your airline app, you could easily miss your flight, even while sitting just a few feet away from the gate.
Airports now expect travelers to monitor everything on their own, and they won't stop the boarding process just because someone wasn't paying attention. This change is happening to reduce noise, cut costs, and push travelers toward digital tools. But it creates a new problem. People who rely on audio cues won't get them anymore. So the only safe way to travel is to stay alert and stay updated. Keep your phone charged, turn on every notification from your airline, and check gate screens every few minutes. Don't assume someone will announce anything, because they won't. Many travelers are already missing flights without realizing it. And if you think this silent airport trend is frustrating, wait until you hear what airlines are planning to do next with your bags. It's shocking, even frequent flyers. Number 10. The carry-on weight trap is getting worse. Airlines are getting much stricter about carry-on luggage, and many travelers don't realize how fast this change is spreading. That casual carry-on you pack to the limit, it's now getting weighed more often than ever before. North American airlines are quietly following the same rules used in many European and Asian airports, which means scales are popping up everywhere, at check-in counters, self-service kiosks, security lines, and even right at the boarding gate.
And here's the tricky part. Some airlines aren't just checking the obvious carry-on bag. They're also testing combined weight rules, where your carry-on and your personal item are weighed together as one allowance. A backpack filled with electronics, plus a small suitcase, can push you over the limit without you noticing. If you're even a little overweight, you're charged on the spot, and the gate is absolutely the worst and most expensive place to get caught. Travelers are already reporting surprise fees, forced bag checks, and last-minute repacking chaos in front of everyone. To avoid all that stress, know your airline's weight rules before you even leave home and use a small luggage scale. 1 extra pound can cost a lot. Rehook. And this next change affects how you enter the airport itself. Number 9. TSA biometric e-gates are becoming the new normal. Airports are slowly replacing the old boarding pass routine with something that feels straight out of a sci-fi movie. You walk up to a small screen, stand still for a second, and boom, the gate unlocks. No fumbling for your passport, no digging through your pockets, no awkward shuffle while people behind you sigh loudly. The system scans your face and matches it with the government's database in just a few seconds. When it works, it's honestly amazing. You just glide through security like you're VIP. But when it doesn't work, oh man, it becomes a nightmare real fast. Something as tiny as getting a new haircut, wearing thicker glasses, changing your beard, or even bad lighting can confuse the system. And the moment it fails, you're kicked out of the fast lane and redirected to the slow, old-school manual line. the one nobody wants to be in. People are reporting that even travel fatigue, puffy eyes, messy hair, no sleep, can trigger mismatches. So the trick is simple. Make sure your ID photo still looks like the real you. Because with these new e-gates, your face is your boarding pass now. Number 8. The hidden rule about power banks that's confiscating thousands of bags. Most travelers have no idea that one tiny detail on their power bank can decide whether they keep it or lose it forever. If your power bank does not show a clear and readable watt-hour rating, TSA can take it immediately with zero debate. No label, no printed number, or even a slightly faded marking is enough for officers to remove it on the spot. And it does not stop there. Smart bags with built-in batteries are becoming a huge problem. If the battery cannot be removed right there at the counter, the airline can ban the bag completely. That means the bag
does not fly, and in many cases, the passenger does not fly either. Even carry-on luggage gets stopped if the battery looks unlabeled, loose, swollen, or difficult to remove. Travelers lose power banks every single day, simply because they never checked the tiny print on the side before packing. So here is the simple rule. Removable battery equals safe. Non-removable battery equals a dead bag. And if the watt hours are not clearly written, expect trouble. A 60-second check at home can save you money, stress, and possibly your entire trip. But Europe is about to drop a change that makes all of this look tiny. Number 7. Europe's EES fingerprinting and face scan system. Imagine landing in Europe, and instead of the usual passport stamp, you're suddenly standing in front of a machine that wants your fingerprints, your face scan, and your full travel history, all in seconds. That's exactly where Europe is headed. The new EES system is replacing manual checks with a fully digital border process that records every single entry and exit automatically. No more relying on stamps or officer notes. The system tracks your exact days inside the Schengen zone with perfect accuracy.
And here's the part that's catching travelers off guard. If you stay even a little longer than allowed, the system flags you immediately. Overstaying by 2 days? It knows. Leaving late because your flight was delayed? It knows. Once flagged, you can face fines, interrogation, or even temporary travel bans, depending on the country. For digital nomads, long-stay visitors, or anyone who hops between Schengen countries, this changes everything. One small miscalculation can shut down future trips. And since this rolls out through 2025-2026, every traveler needs to prepare before arriving. Keep your itinerary clean, know your limits, and double-check your allowed stay. And the next change hits you before you even reach your gate. Number 6. CT scanners and the liquid rule confusion. Here's where things get messy for travelers, and honestly, it's not your fault. Airports are upgrading to those newer 3D CT scanners that can scan bags in full detail, which usually means you don't have to pull out liquids, laptops, tablets, or chargers anymore. Sounds great, right? The problem is the rollout is happening unevenly. Some airports have them at every lane, some only at a few checkpoints, and many still use the old machines that absolutely require the 311 liquid rule.
So you end up with this weird situation. One day you breeze through security without touching your bag, and the next day you're being pulled aside because your water bottle or lotion wasn't removed. Officers are seeing this confusion non-stop, and travelers keep getting mixed signals. To make things even more unpredictable, 2 lanes in the same airport can follow completely different rules depending on the machines they're using that day. The safest approach right now: pack as if the 311 rule still exists everywhere, no matter what. Keep liquids in a clear bag, under the limit, and expect to remove them unless a TSA officer personally tells you you're at a CT-enabled lane. It saves time, avoids repacking, and stops last-second stress. And the next change? It affects every single passenger's wallet. If any of these changes already gave you stress, you're definitely not alone. I break down updates like this every week, so if you want to stay ahead of everyone else in line, hit that subscribe button and become the airport expert in your friend group. All right, back to the list. Number 5. Real ID is now mandatory. No more grace periods. Starting in 2026, the Real ID Act enforcement will be fully mandatory. Any traveler over 18 using a standard driver's license without the Real ID star will be denied entry through TSA checkpoints. No exceptions. No pleading. Missing a Real ID means your trip ends at security. The solution is straightforward. Carry a compliant Real ID, passport, or another accepted form of identification. Travelers who delay getting their Real ID risk missed flights, canceled plans,
Unnecessary stress. Real IDs require specific documentation for application, including proof of identity, social security number, and 2 proof of residency documents like utility bills or bank statements. Planning ahead ensures smooth airport entry. Travelers should apply early to avoid long lines at DMV offices, especially during busy travel seasons. Beyond the domestic requirement, having a Real ID ensures compatibility with TSA PreCheck and other trusted traveler programs. Ignoring this rule is a costly mistake. Airlines won't make exceptions, and airport staff have no discretion. Being prepared now prevents major headaches at the airport. Think of it as the baseline for safe and smooth air travel in 2026, your ticket to avoid surprise delays and enjoy stress-free boarding. Number 4. The personal item shrinkdown. Backpacks and tote bags that used to be perfectly fine are now being scrutinized closely. Some airlines have slashed personal item size limits to as small as 18 by 14 by 8 inches. If your bag even looks slightly too big, you may be hit with a gate check fee, and this is happening right at boarding, meaning extra cost and last-minute stress. The rules vary by airline, and enforcement is no longer a suggestion. Gate agents had been instructed to strictly follow the new dimensions. The small, everyday backpack you used for years could suddenly be too large. Travelers are now forced to measure and weigh every bag meticulously before leaving home.
This isn't about packing lighter. It's about avoiding surprise fees that can easily run $50 to $75 per bag. For frequent travelers or families with multiple carry-ons, these costs add up fast. The best preparation is to check your airline's current personal item restrictions and measure your bags precisely, including wheels and handles. This rule is quietly rolling out at airports across North America and Europe and catching many by surprise. And if you think that's strict, wait until you hear about the new silent airport trend that's leaving even experienced flyers behind. Number 3, the global no announcement boarding trend. Airports aren't just cutting down on announcements. Some are going completely silent during certain hours. Gone are the days when you could rely on hearing your flight called over loudspeakers. If a gate changes and you're not actively checking your phone or the flight display screens, your plane could leave without you. This isn't theoretical. Thousands of travelers, including frequent flyers, have already been caught off guard. The silent boarding trend is expanding across major U.S. and European airports to reduce noise and improve operational efficiency, but the downside is real: missing a flight due to lack of alerts. Travelers now need to treat digital notifications as the primary source of information, constantly refreshing airline apps and monitoring screens. Phones must be charged, notifications enabled, and boarding times treated like hard deadlines. Even a small distraction can lead to disaster. Being glued to your devices isn't optional anymore. It's the only way to stay on top. Airlines expect passengers to actively manage this, not rely on traditional announcements. And if you think that's inconvenient, the next point is a quiet crackdown on smart luggage. Tiny rule, huge consequences for the unprepared.
Number 2. Smart luggage crackdown. Smart luggage is being targeted again, and travelers are losing bags or boarding privileges without realizing it. Even if your smart bag has a removable battery, some airlines now require it to be physically removed before boarding to prevent overheating mid-flight. Forget to take it out? Agents can refuse boarding until you fix the issue. Portable power banks are also under strict scrutiny. Lithium-ion batteries are dangerous if left inside the luggage, and airport staff are enforcing rules more aggressively than ever.
This is a minor-seeming rule with major consequences. A simple oversight could delay your trip or cause you to miss your flight entirely. Airlines are scaling these checks in preparation for the 2026 travel boom, meaning more passengers will be affected. Travelers who aren't aware may panic at the gate and face unnecessary stress or fees. The key is preparation. Always remove batteries from smart luggage, keep power banks accessible in your carry-on, and double-check airline guidelines before traveling. Following these steps ensures smooth boarding and avoids last-minute surprises. Rehook, and finally, the one change almost no traveler is ready for. It's subtle, it's new, and it could get you pulled aside without warning. Number 1. The new Gateside Profile Scan Test runs. Some U.S. airports are quietly testing rapid behavior-based scanning at boarding gates. These systems monitor how you walk, how long you linger, and even tiny micro-movements, flagging anomalies for agents to quickly check passengers without slowing down the rest of the line. While it's not widespread yet, it's expected to scale rapidly ahead of 2026's travel boom.
Translation: even if you're calm, anxious, or slightly distracted, you could be randomly pulled aside without understanding why. This isn't a new ID check or biometric scan. It's a subtle behavioral analysis designed to identify potential risks in seconds. Travelers unaware of the test run may feel confused, stressed, or embarrassed when pulled aside. While many see it as a security upgrade, it introduces a new layer of uncertainty at the gate. Passengers are being encouraged to move confidently, follow standard boarding behavior, and avoid unnecessary hesitation. Preparation means knowing what to expect, staying alert, and keeping personal composure. Travelers who ignore this trend risk delays or questioning, potentially missing flights. Rehook. And that wraps up the biggest upcoming airport and airline changes for 2026. Knowing them all puts you ahead of the crowd and could save hundreds or even prevent a missed trip entirely. Travel in 2026 is going to feel very different, but if you know the rules, you stay ahead of everyone else. Click any of these videos on your screen and I'll see you in a moment.